Hi, I'm Lanissa Brantley, and my background is for 25 plus years in healthcare sales and business development. And I spent time in pharmaceutical sales and then spent time actually as a boots on the ground physician liaison. And then had a large team of physician liaisons that I oversaw. And for the last several years, I've worked as an independent consultant, specifically helping practices grow their physician referral networks. So if you're looking for a consistent patient acquisition strategy, physician referrals are a great place to start. And that is what I especially focus on. All of these things work together in your practice. And so physician marketing is an opportunity for you to go out and meet the physicians in your community, talk to them, and actually get more patients into your practice. Those patients, they're going to check out your website, and they are in those referring doctors as well. And they're also going to look to see, are you an expert in the field? So that's how all of these things play together and work together. I mentioned earlier, this is something I've been doing for a very long time, and my primary professional goal in life is to guide ambitious practice leaders from chaotic and confusing referral network strategy. A lot of people want to do this, but like Brian said, they just don't know where to start. And my goal is to help you cultivate new patient referrals with confidence and clarity, if I can get that out. So why do physician referrals even matter? This day and age, there is so much noise in the market, and there's so many distractions for our time, for our attention, for our money, for everything. And now 84% of buyers now kick off their buying process with a referral. 92% of those buyers trust referrals from people they know. That actually is elevated when it comes to your physician, because this is your physician that you know, that you trust, and this is the physician that also knows you. So when they are referring you to a specialist, you're much more likely to go to that specialist. So that's the importance of physician referrals. That's the value of physician referrals. And a lot of people think that you have to, in order to do this, that you have to have a lot of different referrals from a lot of people, but it's simpler than you might think. So if you think about 5 new referring doctors and they send just 5 patients a month, that is 25 patients a month. So it doesn't take that many new referring doctors sending that many new patients in order to make a big difference in your clinic schedule, in your surgical volume, in all of the things that you're looking for as far as patient acquisition. And then what is the potential financial impact of that? We took some feedback from our hearing providers. And so if you take that same 5 doctors sending 5 patients a month, that's 25 patients. And a lot of you on this call are in the eye space or the ear space. So for you guys, you can actually double that. That's times 2, because we have 2 eyes and 2 ears. And when we talked to a lot of our friends in the hearing space, that actually looked like over a month, a potential $120,000 increase in monthly revenue, or over $1 million in annual revenue. And this is just a potential scenario, but even if you get off to a really, really slow start, and we're looking at just a couple of extra patients a month or a couple of extra conversions a month, that still tends to be enough of an increase in revenue to cover any sort of investment. So there's definitely return on investment and opportunity as well for consistent referrals over time. So the big question is, how do you get these referrals? And I'm going to give you the number 1 hack to going out and getting more referrals. And really the secret is make more calls on more referring doctors. A lot of times we think we have to have everything in place. We think things have to be perfect. And it is really a marathon, not a sprint. And so definitely, do you want to have some of your ducks in a row? Yes. I mean, you do want to make sure that your website is decent. You want to make sure that your reviews look good. But those are also things that you can perfect and grow and build over time. And also, when you go out and call on those referring doctors, you can just ask them, let them know, hey, we're new at this. What are you looking for in a referral partner? How can we best partner with you? And let them tell you how to develop your process as you go. So it does not have to be perfect for you to get started. And again, the number one way to get more referrals is to just make more calls on more referring doctors. And if you get a few no's in the beginning, don't let that discourage you, because more no's equals more opportunity for the yes. And those no's over time, as they get to know you and trust you, will eventually convert over to yeses. And again, you don't need everyone in your market. You just need someone. So going back to those 5 referring doctors sending 5 patients a month. So you don't need all 150 or 300 potential referring doctors that might be in your market. You just need a few sending a few patients a month to make a really, really big difference and a really big impact. And so let's talk about what this can look like. This is just an actual practice that we worked with. They were a 5-year-old practice, and they had no history at all of any sort of physician referral network program. In fact, they didn't really want to do it at all because they thought it was going to be too time consuming, too much work. And so they really wanted to focus on some of their other marketing efforts. And over time, they did a really good job with those, but they still weren't seeing the amount of patients that they wanted to see. So they have no history of a referral network program, and they started around September. Their physician liaison started going out just part-time as they were able to, and got about 4 new referred patients just in September. And then from October to November, still the physician liaison was going out mostly part-time during those days. They were finalizing and fine-tuning a few things on their website. They were perfecting some things internally with their process and just going out a little bit and also building the program at the same time. And so by November, they're at about 11 new referrals. Sometime around mid-November is when they started going out full-time. Their physician liaison started going out full-time, calling on doctors 4 to 5 days a week. So by December, they now had 15 consults and 12 surgeries scheduled. And then by January, 20 surgeries scheduled. And that is an additional $50,000 of revenue for their particular practice. So it didn't take a lot of time for them to get to this level. It just took the commitment that we're going to do this. So I'm going to stop my share and pause right there. But that is just a little bit of the value of a physician referral network program, how it can benefit you, how it can benefit your practice. And then if you have any questions about it, I am sure that we will get to those in the Q&A as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Lanissa. And, you know, more and more, it just seems like practices are asking about this. Is there a practice type that, you know, sometimes people are like, am I big enough to do physician marketing? How, you know, because we've had 3, 4, 5-person clinics say, can I do this? Is that something you've seen feasible for that size? And I know you've worked with, you know, larger multi-location, they have a dedicated resource for this, but can it work in both environments?
Absolutely. So really, it's not so much about the size of the practice. We've worked with practices that have 1 clinician and a couple of support staff. And then we've worked with multi-site, multi-specialty practices and everything in between. Really, what it comes down to is, are you willing to make the commitment to this program and this process? And what that means is there someone you can dedicate? And sometimes it's the surgeon or the clinician, especially if they're in a new practice and they have a little bit more time on their hands. Sometimes it's a support staff, but are you willing to dedicate some sort of time and resource to this consistently? If you just go out once or twice a year and bring the Christmas cookies, that's not going to be super effective for you. But if you can have somebody that's consistently going out and visiting these offices, and you're also just willing to have the grit that it takes, because as you grow, you will have some growing pains, but that's a good problem to have, right? Because you're either having growth pains or you're having death pains. And so which you want to pick your pain. And so as you grow, the systems and the processes that you had in place when you were getting 5 referrals is not the same as when you're getting 25 as when you're getting 125. And so just having the consistency and the patience to adapt and grow with the program and the commitment are, that's really what it requires. It's not as much about the size of your practice.